Hello and welcome everyone to Let's Play Tomb Raider 2 Remastered. Zelga is 115 speaking, and let me welcome you to what I think is an absolutely worthy finale of Venice. I'd like to welcome you to the Opera House. Now in this level we are gonna kill 46 enemies, an absolutely ridiculous number, topped by only one additional level in Tomb Raider 2, and only if you choose to kill a lot of innocents. Tomb Raider 2 veterans, you know exactly which level I'm talking about. Happens to be my most favorite of the entire game, by the way. We are also gonna get our hands on 3 secrets. And tied to that is a very interesting bug, which is actually going to award us with apparently a non-existent ammo bundle. So upon picking up all 3 secrets, doesn't matter in which order, stone, gold or jade, you are going to be awarded 4 ammo pickups, but the game will count a 5th non-existent one, resulting in 37 rather than 36 pickups. So at the very end of the level, we will still see 37 out of 36, however, you only were awarded 36. That is, according to Stella's walkthroughs. Now, I'm actually gonna check if our ammunition count is gonna reflect this bug or not. I'm very curious, because perhaps we do get 5 ammunition bundles, but only see 4 popping up on screen, which would mean that in reality, we will be getting 37 goodies. We'll see, but more about that later. We are also gonna unlock the 7 achievements. 4 are really level specific and 3 are tied to the overall Venetian chapter of the game, okay? So that's essentially it. Now, I'd like to start this level with a bang, because it absolutely deserves it. Prepare a grenade launcher, roll, fall down, and... one of Bartoli's henchmen would take potshots at you as you're swimming in the water, and this is the best way to prevent it. Oh, I absolutely love doing this. We essentially pulled off a similar shenanigan back in Venice level when falling down, killing a hitman like this, but this really takes the cake. Over here, we'll be awarded with an achievement, which by the way I like, because it draws your attention to this poster. Bartoli, says King. So like father, like son, light a flare in front of Gianni Bartoli. Or more like Gianni Bartoli's poster. This is the father of Marco Bartoli, or Macho Broccoli, the main villain, I guess, of this game, although I don't think he's any more villain than Lara is in this case, although he does intend to use the powers of Dagger of Xi'an, whereas Lara just wants to keep it as a nice trinket and culturally appropriated. So, apparently he was a magician or something of that sort. This is what the poster looked like in the original. Pretty good transition, dare I say, although they cut off an additional piece of it, which I think is a bit of a shame. I'd like to see more of that poster. And just a bit of a look at ancient history. Now, talking about ancient history, I was sort of racking my brains thinking about what opera house could this level actually refer to in Venice, and there is only one I can think of, and that is La Fenice. So there's an opera house in Venice called the Fenice because it burned down and was rebuilt a couple of times in the past, right? And I think this could actually be it. I was there twice in my life in the real deal, and I was just looking at wall textures. I was checking out, the ceiling. I was just absolutely obsessed with the idea that what if this is the opera house that one of my most favorite Tomb Raider 2 levels is based on, right? Okay, that was a bit clumsy, but there we are. So it is interesting, and also it would match the timeline, because the story here is taking place in 1997, and the Opera House La Fenice was not yet open for business. So perhaps in Tomb Raider universe, Bartoli's henchmen were using it as a hideout before it was fully open, and before the restoration works were completed, right? Okay, so enough of a history lesson, but I'm gonna provide a link in the description below in case you're interested to learn just a bit more about it. Let's make it all the way back and tilt Lara a bit to the right. You're gonna avoid the crate completely like this, so it doesn't need to shred any of our precious health down. And now, you know what? I think running jump with a shotgun is the most appropriate course of action. Let's see. Oh god damn it, that was quite the fall. Well, that's no good, but I'm committed. So, we got our hands on Ornate Key. So this is really interesting because unfortunately being ornate doesn't really tell you what is it used for, okay? But don't worry, it's very soon in this area. It's the first key we find and the first key we will use, okay? Now, I have no ambition whatsoever of not using a medpack for this level because it is absolutely insane with its 46 enemies and essentially half of them shoot back. Now, there is a little hidey hole over here, but it contains nothing, which is a bit of a disappointment, but I guess the clue we get is that there is the Temple of Xi'an marking on these crates, which also happens to be the symbol of the Fiammanera cult that Marco Bartoli didn't establish. His father was apparently already a member of, but he is now leading it. And we're gonna get a bit more exposition as a final cutscene for this level, telling us a bit more about the villain, which I always like. Oh, let me check what the reflections are like here, and... oh wait, we will need to light up a flare for this. There we go, and... oh yeah, the reflection matches these. Okay, so that's nice, they at least implemented that quite well. Now, let's just repeat the jump we did before. That is via tilting Lara to the right. And now we can essentially ignore the crate altogether. It's one of the funniest hazards, I think. Many people find it rather immersion-breaking, but there you have it. These swinging crates in their infinite pendulum momentum constitute an actual trap from a tomb in this particular setting. By the way, make sure to break all these windows for Fight of the Bees achievement, okay? So, I guess Bartoli was perhaps even the owner of the Opera House or La Fenice, because why else would there be windows with the initials of the family, you know what I mean? And I think there are 9 of them altogether in this level. We are essentially gonna find these windows at one additional spot in the level, okay? So they're clustered together nicely. Oh, let me just check, this one's broken. Yes, awesome. Okay, so 3 windows over here, and that will essentially be 6 more, if I'm counting correctly, later on in the level. Now, it can be difficult to see without a flare, but there is a keyhole. Yay! I don't understand why a roof access like this has an ornate key to it, but there you have it. One cool thing I like is the addition of all these light bulbs in the remasters. They sort of gently guide you towards your next objective. I appreciate that. It is not at all gamey or immersion breaking, unlike the endlessly swinging crates, but we'll forgive them that. Oh no, this is gonna get really interesting. So first of all, we want to unlock an achievement regarding preserving cultural heritage, and that's by making it across this broken down roof by breaking no more than 3 breakaway tiles, okay? So that is fairly challenging, but it can absolutely be done. However, what I'm gonna show you then is how to get on the other side of this roof via breaking all of these breakable tiles, because you know how much I'm obsessed by these, okay? One thing I absolutely love is the addition of this string of lights here. It's just gorgeous. One thing I do not like is the skybox. I mean, in the original it was just black, it was kind of dark and depressing. I love the fact we see a starry night. However, you can see in the distance that this is the same skybox they used for the Return to Egypt and Temple of the Cat levels, okay? Which I find a bit immersion breaking, and there is no Venetian skyline over here. But the biggest offender is not going to be this skybox, but the one towards the very end of the level, where in the original we get to see Venetian skyline, but in the remaster, just this. Lots and lots of trees, which I guess you could interpret as roofs of buildings, but I'm not so sure. So first of all, let me save here, and let's unlock our second achievement of this level. So let me enter my photo mode and explain. What we really want to achieve here is as follows. I'd like to jump on this tile here, then jump all the way here and grab this one, but not climb up. Instead, shimmy to the right, and then break these 2 tiles as we're running over them and make a jump over there. Hopefully that is clear, but let me demonstrate in practice, okay? It's a bit of a physics-defying feat that they will not start collapsing upon you grabbing a hold of them, but you can absolutely take advantage of this, which is simply wonderful. And now we just gotta be careful. Okay, there we go. With respect for cultural heritage, cross the broken roof by dropping only 3 wooden panels in Opera House. We gotta be careful when running diagonally not to even touch the corner of this tile. That's the trickiest part, okay? So like I said, achievement unlocked, but that's not what I'm interested in. That is instead to break all of these and still make it across. So let me just load the game, and I'm gonna see you back at that spot. Okie dokie. So, there is one point that really frustrates me about this puzzle when trying to break all of them, and that's that it's not possible to break this tile. Well, at least visually speaking, let me demonstrate exactly what I mean. So essentially, just like all the other tiles, Lara will fall after a second of standing on top of it. However, visually speaking, it will always remain here. I actually haven't tested this in the original game. Would be interesting to see if that was a glitch that was present there, but I'd really like them to fix this. This irritates me to no end. I'm probably like one of 5 people in the entire world who care about this sort of thing, but still. But nevertheless, I'm not gonna let this discourage me. I'm gonna show you a way how to break all the tiles, okay? So just keep in mind that even if you touch this one, it will remain here, but maybe if they'll patch it in the future, I want to demonstratively show you how you can break all of them, should this one ever become breakable once they patch it, or if they even patch it, okay? So we're just gonna touch all of them, make it to the other side, and feel good about ourselves. That's it. Let's load before Lara will break her neck. So let me show you a way that I'm really proud of triggering all the tiles. By the way, you do not need to do this for any achievement, any kind of in-game statistic. It's just something I wanted to do to challenge myself, and I recommend you guys do it. It's an incredible feeling once you pull this off. But if you forgive me, I'm gonna be quiet and focus whilst doing this, because this is really difficult. But it all starts with a standing jump. Okay, I think we did it. Yes, Lara, yes! See what I meant about that great feeling? So it's a combination of rolls, triggering corners, and just making mid-air rolls and standing jumps and running jumps. You kind of have to utilize everything in your toolbox to pull this off, but my god, does it feel incredible. It would feel even more incredible if this one wouldn't be visually glitched, but according to the physics and Lara's behavior on it, it absolutely falls down and should be placed somewhere here. By the way, we are gonna find ourselves down at the bottom of this elevator hall a bit later on. For now, let's continue because we wrapped up our business here. And actually, triggering all the breakaway tiles was a great point of anxiety for me when I thought about making a rerun of Tomb Raider 2, but we pulled it off. Now careful, there's a hitman over there. Just listen to that guy's rate of fire. He doesn't even care. He's shooting at the wall. These guys are absolutely insane. Okay, let's trigger even more enemies, but immediately climb up. No need to get pummeled from up close as well, on top of getting shot at. Uh-oh, the assassin is approaching, but then he's leaving again. Okay, let's take care of the doggos. One more left. Okay, as for the assassin, there really is no point in trying to wait for him here. He's still shooting, by the way. Did you see that? He is insane! How do we stop this menace? He's never gonna run out of ammo. Well, to be fair, we also have infinite pistols ammo. Oh my god, and now there are 2 more. Okay, this is really scary and really dangerous. It's good that they're isolated at least and not grouped together. That'd be worse. Die, please, please, please. Okay, 3rd one. My god. Do you see what I mean by this level's insanity? Now let's just take a census and go through all the goodies these guys have dropped. But honestly, I'd rather them drop less stuff than us being forced to use a medpack. Now, it's possible to finish this level without using one, whilst 100%ing it, and I managed to pull this off, but not with using pistols only. I was using the most powerful weaponry I had available. I did this for retro achievements, and I kind of don't want to go through that again. There is no point in this official remastered release anyway, okay? Okay, so that was the baton-wielding thug that dropped something. And I think there were 3 of these guys. Ah, there you are. Almost forgot about you. Oh, imagine missing 1 out of 36 items in this level. That'd be insane. So there we go. Sweet automatic ammunition ammo. Oh, and by the way, in case you played the Tomb Raider 2 Remastered shortly after release and are finding things looking a bit differently, well, that's because this is what it looked like in the original, and it's essentially what it looked like in the Remastered as well, using these more upscale textures, right? But since the most recent patch, or maybe the one before it, I keep forgetting, and there have been so many, they added this glass dome underneath this railing, this grate, which makes it look very ugly, but I understand why they did this, and it also gives the sense that it's kind of a restoration or construction work in progress, which is really neat. What's more, we are gonna see what's under this glass dome from the inside, and that's where it gets really beautiful, okay? But a bit later about that. First of all, let's wrap up the business we came here to do, and let's open an entrance into the opera house itself. Again, we can avoid the swinging crate via just a bit of a hint of a diagonal jump like this. Okay, but this will trigger the appearance of a thug and an assassin. The thug is problematic because Lara can prioritize shooting at him over this guy. Oh no, that was not supposed to happen. Okay, run, Lara. Ah, why did you have to fall? Oof, okay, made it, barely. Shall we kill you on top of the glass dome? Okay, that's pretty cool. And what about you, sir? Okay, well, we messed up, but we fixed the situation, and we have this lovely corpse on top of the glass dome now. Awesome. Which thankfully is not gonna block any moonlight coming from the inside. What we achieved via that switch is essentially we opened up this trapdoor into backstage control room, which is gonna be very important later on. If you were particularly observant, you might notice that I completely ignored this corner tower over here. And that's for a simple reason. It's a trap with a slide that leads into glass shards, which double as spikes, okay? We've seen them in the beginning of the level, and I walked through them carefully. That's because they have the same effect as spikes. There's another pit filled with glass shards over here with nothing in it. By the way, I appreciate they added a light bulb to just draw your attention to it, like maybe you do not want to go there. However, as far as Gold Digger achievement goes, you should pay attention to this one. Now, there is a bit of a technique I already showed in Bartoli's hideout, or also in the unfinished business expansion levels, that you can use to get your hands on the gold dragon before any other. Now you can do it like this, you don't have to, but I prefer to just get the achievement out of the way because I do not on a normal playthrough recommend getting the gold one first. It's just a very inefficient way. So let me save here and show you how to get it. And it's essentially very simple. You need to use the drop-down momentum from a roll to land not on the spikes, but underneath them like this with the Uzi clips, okay? So, I've shown this before, hold action, but released just before Lara is able to grab and you will fall down under. Instead, actually I didn't need to pick up the Uzi clips, but there you have it. And now let's walk carefully, well we don't need to, we are gonna reload to pick up the gold dragon. And there we go, Gold Digger. Take the golden one before the rest of the secret dragons in Opera House. Easy as a pie. Now we can absolutely reload and enter the Opera House as it was intended. So there we are. Now this is really interesting because you can already take a sneak peek through the magnificent Opera House with a nice chandelier and the glass dome right above it. Let's see if the height roughly matches. I think it actually does. Yeah, quite nicely. Yeah, this is very believable. So, first of all, there are a couple of switches here. This one does nothing, although it will trigger nice music if you want, but I like to keep it for later, because it makes dramatically more sense later on. We need to put a circuit board in here for it to actually do something about the backstage. For now, let's focus on the one over here, and this will open up a path down with a switch. That essentially does the same thing as the switch inside, but from the outside, allowing us to actually use it as a ladder and get into that opera house. What I also like to do is to trigger a boulder from over there. So let's just move around here, make a jump, and that should be sufficient. Yep, we can hear it and see the screen shaking. So it is, these are boulders made up of bricks, and what I like about this is that it's a combination of 3 boulders, a big one and 2 smaller. It's functionally the same as a single boulder, but it's just visually a bit more interesting, I think. And there are going to be multiple spots where boulders will come from, like this dark hole over here, okay? So we'll need to be very careful. This is a dangerous site that's been damaged by fire, apparently, and is still being reconstructed. Who knows how many of Bartoli's henchmen just accidentally died here? I don't know why I find that idea incredibly funny. Okay. And now we will enter the opera house proper, and this is where it gets really interesting. By the way, these counterweights for stage elements that are also placed here for whatever reason, or sandbags, however we would call them, are traps. Whenever you step under one, it will just let go and fall down on top of Lara, which is absolutely annoying but also incredibly funny. I'm not yet decided if I'm gonna count these as breakable objects, because, I mean, we're gonna break them via triggering them. You know what? I probably am, just to make the breakables statistic more interesting, right? So there's gonna be breakaway tiles, Bartoli's shootable or breakable windows, and these sandbags I'm gonna consider in this level. But first of all, let's take care of an assassin who's trying to ambush us from around here. Okay, I think he managed to land a single shot, which is unfortunate. By the way, he came from that corridor. There is no reason to go there just yet, because we're missing a key item to make an elevator work, okay? Let's trigger this counterweight. And oh boy, open this terrifying door. From it, a dog and a hitman will come. Let's shoot the dog and hide away from the hitman around this corner. At least that's what we can do to minimize some of the damage. Yeah, unfortunately it doesn't drop anything, okay? So it's a really nasty trap. Furthermore, on the other side over here is a door, and we are actually going to use this door to come back from the secret with the gold dragon. It is all connected, okay? Now I cannot show you with the camera because we're blocked off, but behind it is a golden dragon. This will be a door that will lead us back to the top floor of the opera house. If you're particularly aware, you can also hear footsteps underneath us. Oh boy, there is a hitman stationed in what I think is the most annoying point in the entire level, because he can take potshots at you from wherever you are essentially, and it's extremely difficult to land potshots back at him, okay? But I'm gonna show you a way. For now, let's see where the dog and the hitman came from. By the way, you don't have to do this because it's just a depressing empty room with some collapsed brickwork. That's it. They placed a light bulb here in the remasters, which is always sweet, to explain for the light being there all of a sudden. And I mean, just, you know what, let's take a second. This is what it looked like in the original. Still absolutely gorgeous in my opinion, but look at the roof. This just makes all the difference, and we can see the moonlight seeping in, illuminating the crystals on the chandelier. It's absolutely stunning. I love what they did with the opera house, and sort of the centerpiece of the opera house itself is this stage. Now, I never really thought about it, but by the way, I prefer the clouds in the original graphics. They are just much more stylized. Here they, I don't know, try to make them a bit more realistic, I guess. I never really gave much thought to what could be displayed here. It could just be some generic scenery with trees and rocks and something like that for a stage play. But what I'd like to personally think is that this is a representation of the Chinese floating islands as part of the myth. And this would tie in nicely to what we're going to encounter in the following levels. So maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm misinterpreting this, but I like to think these are the floating islands. And it would also fit Bartoli's motivations and his obsession, I think. Okay, so careful about that assassin, okay? He can make your life living hell. Let's descend even further down. And now I think the best way we can trigger more enemies underneath us is to do this. You heard the door unlocking. And there we go. Let's take care of a thug and two dogs. Oh, I think the assassin was about to shoot at us. I'm not sure. Okay, we're gonna get you, sir. And the way we're gonna do this is... Could we grab that? No, that is very unlikely. Okay. Let's do the following thing. I'm gonna jump up here. Maybe we're gonna get a couple of bullets shot into our back as we're attempting this. Whoa! We just triggered boulders underneath us, actually. So this is a safe way to do it. There they are, rolling across the town. Now, what I'd like to do is essentially jump up here, turn around, and kill this guy as soon as possible. But I like to time it in a way when his back is turned, so that we'll just minimize some of the damage. Okay, his back is turned, it's time to action. Come on, Lara. Now, because I decided to use only pistols, I'm making this unnecessarily difficult for myself, but there you have it. Oh, nice. I think he missed on both of those shots. Awesome. And you just made your life so much easier in the opera house level. Trust me, okay? Now, you can get a sneak peek on this elevator shaft over here. But we'd be sort of getting ahead of ourselves. Let's not do that yet. You can already hear a couple of reds scurrying about. You know what? Maybe we can shoot them already? No? Okay, whatever. So, interesting, because there is one red over on this platform that actually only appears if you land here from the top. We will find ourselves at the very bottom over here, but the red will not appear. You need to step on these tiles. So the plan was not just to trigger, well, essentially kill that assassin, but also to trigger the reds. Now, how to get down safely? You know what? I think I'm gonna utilize the same trick we did with the golden dragon, and that's... Yes, worked out nicely. Otherwise, I think we would have taken some minor falling damage. Ouchies. Which we almost did right now, nevertheless. Let's see where the dogs and the thug came from, and it's a trap. Just make sure to avoid these boulders as you come here, there's nothing else here, okay? So you have no reason to go here, but you know me, I like to show you every single room in the game as much as possible. And don't forget the large medpack. Easy to forget some of the pickupable items. Let's trigger the second boulder. And this actually looks like there should be another boulder coming from here, but... perhaps a bit disappointingly, it's not. It's like they forgot to implement it or something. Yeah. Now, it's time to approach the stage, and my god, I'm scared. Okay? So, first of all, let's climb up as quickly as possible and take care of this guy. Whoa! Forgot about that. Oh! Forgot about that. Oh! Forgot about you too. This could not have gone worse, or better, depending on which angle you look at it from. Let's pick up the Uzi clips. Oh, by the way, I need to check how much ammo we get for an experiment later on. 480. And now we are at 560, so 80 bullets per pickup. This will be interesting to sort of resolve the mystery of the pickup, the 37th pickup glitch. Okay, my heart is racing. There is another assassin on the other side of the stage. Unfortunately, he can shoot at us somehow from the distance. Oh my god, our health can barely be seen. Let's see if the guy dropped anything, but I don't think this one does. Nope, absolutely not, so we don't need to go back there. I have no idea how we pulled this off and how we survived, but I'm sure glad we did. Now, via entering this room, you will have triggered this swinging mechanism. Why is this important? Well, it's something I'm going to use in my time trial run of the game. But you can essentially, once you make it to the Opera House at the very top, make a jump from here, then angle Lara to the left, jump over here, and essentially press a lever to open the door over there and continue on with the level. Which is an enormous skip through this huge level, because you will reach the very final area, the storage room over here, via doing that. So it's not something I'm going to engage with now, but later on, once I'll work on my time trial video, where we'll try to beat the game with pistols only and under 6 hours, that's when I'm going to do it. I have already tested this on PS4, it works out absolutely flawlessly. Okay, now there'll be 2 baton-wielding henchmen over here. Let's take care of them, and the second one. They should drop some medpacks, I think. Okay, so maybe not this one, but that one, I can see it. Yes, large medpack. It's funny, because the large medpacks are larger than Lara's actual backpack, so I always wondered how on earth does she fit them in. Now let's run forward and trigger another sandbag. Whew. And let's do the same thing over here. I think that would be good. Whoa! My god, that was not good. That was what we call close. Okay. So we are in this rather featureless, boring-looking brickwork area of the Opera House. Let's just climb up. We don't even need to walk carefully through the glass shards. We can go around them, which is simply awesome. And now we will use this ledge to grab the shimmiable crevice, because there be a switch over there. Honestly, this entire side room, this whole side dungeon is here just to open up a trapdoor so we can explore what's under the actual backstage, okay? But again, central hub and many side dungeons, and a little bit of an adventure just trying to get into the Opera House. I love everything about this. Okay, let's try and land on the top, but not into the spikes. Awesome. Okay, so this trapdoor is now down thanks to that switch. and soon you will hear the squeaking of another rat, which is terrifying given the no time for plague achievement. And I don't think I saved ever since we entered the opera house, so I'm a bit worried. Okay. I'm so glad we can shoot the rat from this safety over here. We just need to climb up to make it via this running grabbing jump over at the very top. Okay, it's getting a bit dark. I'd like to see properly. Let's just time standing jumps. There's no reason to rush. And I think we'll be completely safe if we just stick to the right side. Absolutely. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. And this is what I mean. So we have essentially dropped one of those sandbags ahead of us, meaning it revealed this trapdoor under the wooden stage itself, okay? Now, as it pertains to this sandbag, we'll trigger it a bit later on as we'll be approaching the end of the level, okay? But for now, let me save here and make a stylish swan dive. Woohoo! And you can, of course, roll and unlock the 1010 achievement if you haven't already. I'm not gonna talk through this music, I love it so much. I'm so glad the music finished naturally, because we would have interrupted it via picking up this stone dragon. So yeah, this area actually reminds me of one of the hurdles I had with the original PC release of Tomb Raider 2, and that was that whenever you opened up your menu when music was playing, or if you even were underwater with Lara or the camera angle, you would not hear the music, or sometimes you would hear it with extra low volume. And it seems they fixed this issue for the remasters. Now, I'm not sure if that's because they used the PlayStation source code, and this was never an issue in the PlayStation versions, but in PC it absolutely was. But I appreciate it's a non-issue now with the remasters. Again, they really are the best way to experience these gems of video games. Now, you might be wondering, what was the point of going under the stage? Well, we got the silver dragon, we opened up way out via a switch, but most importantly, we got our hands on a so-called relay box. This is the item I mentioned earlier that we'll need to trigger an elevator. My god, I'm so glad we took care of that assassin over there and we're not at risk of being shot at. So we will now be going through elevators. The reasons are numerous. One of them is to get a circuit board to enter into the switch here and lift the backstage displaying the floating aisles to be able to continue the level. Another reason is to actually get a key to open the door on the middle level over here that will allow us to return to the backstage control room. You might be thinking, well, what's the point? Because we can get to the top floor anyway, just using these ledges over here. Just climb up, 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 and you're at the top floor. And you would be correct. However, you cannot climb back in. See, this is just one step higher, and it's not possible to jump from anywhere. This is essentially the reason. I'm sure there is some super special way to corner glitch in there, but this is essentially the reason why we'll need the key and to open the door. When I was little, it actually didn't occur to me that's the reason, and I was racking my brains, well, what's the point of that door, right? So there you have it. Okay, 2 dogs guarding the elevator room. And we get another sneak peek of the roof we have absolutely wrecked for those breakable objects. Ah! There's the glitched one right above us, teasing us and taunting us. You evil bastard. I don't know how, but somehow I'm gonna take my revenge at you, breakaway tile. Okay, now, I'm gonna show you sort of the proper way to collect the golden dragon secret, okay? So first of all, via inserting the relay box over here, you will enable the functionality of this switch, okay? So wait for it, do not enter the elevator yet, because it will go down in a minute, but instead we want to get on its roof and climb up here. It's a really cool secret, I like it a lot. Now, this is only our second, not third secret, so I cannot yet check the glitch, but let's pick it up anyway. And now let's open up a way back onto the top floor of the opera house. Because if you were to try using the elevator on top of the elevator shaft, well, you would essentially just get on its roof. However, I think it'd be possible to just shimmy here and drop off there. So it's up to you which way you want to go. But I find it more satisfying to show you the reason why we even bothered opening up this door. Okay, and there we go. Uzi clips with another 80 bullets. Awesome. So here we are. The mystery of this door is now resolved. Let's just go around again. Yeah, it doesn't matter if you use this door or if you use the elevator ladder to get back here. See? But there you have Uzi clips, here you don't. Now, you will now need to resummon the elevator. The switch now works flawlessly thanks to the relay box we entered. And by the way, I love these skewed markings of the elevator floor. It's just a shame that it doesn't really have any handle showing you whether this is floor number 1, 2, or 3. Which, I don't know, it almost looks like they tried to do that in the original, and here they just said, nah, screw it. Which is a shame. And every floor could have had a different version of set texture, but oh well. Now this is why they used to hire elevator boys. They would be the ones to press the switch, whilst you are already inside the elevator, but this time you need to hurry the hell up. You need to do it yourself. I don't know why this reminds me of Forrest Gump playing ping pong or table tennis with himself. By the way, this door is just an illusion. You can absolutely pass through it, okay? Now, I'm gonna do something perhaps very stupid over here, but this is gonna be one of the nastiest ambushes. The moment you take another step, you'll be ambushed by 2 assassins from 2 different directions. You do not see them yet because they haven't spawned, but they will the moment we step on this row of tiles. And the best method I found is, it's very difficult to go to one side and ambush them when the other will have a clear shot at you. The same works for both sides, they cover one another nicely, but if you trigger them and then run back to the elevator, it seems their AI cannot process the fact that Lara is in a dynamic cabin. So it kind of messes them up, and we can use that to our advantage. Let's see how this will go. Okay, go back. You can already hear footsteps of particularly polished shoes. See what I mean? Oh, Lara, I didn't want to see your teeth. Oh, okay, this is good. We did not take a single... Oh, almost. He tried that. But I think we took no damage. And this is this level's nastiest ambush. So I think the elevator tricks works really nicely. I don't remember it working that way in the original, but maybe that's because I just haven't tried it. And it really only occurred to me as I was playing on my PS5, my second run through the level, I was like, what can we do to minimize damage here? And well, I think this works out nicely. By the way, you can take a look at another rat over here. One over there, one over here. And we need to be extra careful to not get bitten. So I'm actually gonna be watching my health bar more closely than I'm gonna be watching the action with the rats. Because that's the only thing that matters for the achievement. Let's go down into the depths of darkness, light up a flare. And over here, to the left, is a small side tunnel. And we are gonna find ourselves underneath this crate. We were actually on top of it a short while ago. Okay, so this is a circuit board. Awesome. We can now finally lift the backstage, but we just need to get back up there. And this is where we press the switch. There's a swinging setback above us. This is essentially the hidey hole to the left of the stage, okay? Hopefully that makes sense and looks familiar. Back through the shallow water. Oh, I don't like the slow wading. I mean, it makes perfect sense, but it's just... Let's get a move on, shall we? And here, you just need to find an underwater lever. That's right here. There is nothing else here. No single goodie or pickup that would be hidden in the watery darkness. But now, I am actually a bit scared because there be rats, which must not bite us. Let's at least try and make it as far away from the rat as possible. Lara? Good. And what about that one? Can you shoot it? No. Oh well. It has to happen. We cannot delay anymore. Okay, perfect. We did not get bitten. But there is an assassin. And let me just put it like this. We can set up an ambush at him, but there are gonna be 2 more rats to complicate our life. I'm not a fan of this. So, let's pop in a small head because, well, I mean, look at our health. Okay. Okay. Okay, and there's a rat, which I really wanted to stay away from as much as possible. Awesome, and watch out, this dog always takes me by surprise. I forget it's coming here. But it is now down. Awesome. So we did not get hit by the rats, nor the assassin. And actually, if you so desire, you can jump back up here. This is where we already finished off the assassin who dropped automatic clips, right? We will come back here, but once we have the key to reach the backstage control area. Okie dokie. So that's that. And another elevator shaft. We basically pass through here, but it's not a legitimate stop you could stop at, okay? And these iron grates will never open and block you from trying to leave the elevator when you're on the mid-level. Okay, and this is the second area with Bartoli's windows. Only 3 more to go, and I think they are down here. Let's drop on the step here to minimize damage, or ideally not even take any. And you know what? Let's break this one with our own body. There we go, Fight of the Beast. Break all the windows with your enemy's initials. Well, I mean, it's just one initial, not initials, but there you have it. Unless there's an M incorporated into that picture that I haven't noticed. Somehow this convoluted way, which I feel should have been attached to the stage, but it's all the way here for whatever reason, leads to the Jade Dragon in ventilation ducts and the key to open up the backstage control room. Now, what I really like about this block puzzle is that we'll be building a tower to climb all the way back up. Here's the gist of it. Whenever Lara jumps up, she cannot reach 2 blocks of height. Let me show you. See? Her hands do not reach the top of the crate, but 1 step less. That's why there is this useful wooden step, and we are gonna get another crate here, then build the one over here on top of it, and this way we'll be able to climb up the tower. It's really neat, I think. Well, this is exactly as I remember it. Even the glass shards in the exact shaping. I guess I would have wished some of the light bulbs would still work or something like that, because that's what it looked like in the original, that they do actually, they are lit and work, but just a minor complaint. Okay, and there's no way around it, you just need to time this jump well. Let's make a swan dive. Damn it, Lara, you messed up the finish. You could have flourished with style, but there you have it. Now, what we picked up is again an ornate key, just like the one we used to access the roof in the very beginning. But this one opens up the double door to the stage control area. I like to make a backflip over here. Ooh, well, you did not mess it up this time. Watch out for the rat and the plague. Okay, there we have it. And here, standing jump will be enough, even though it looks like it wouldn't. And let's go up, and then up again. And this time, let us go forward, because there is a Jade Dragon glinting in the distance. But be very careful, because the moment you light up a flare, you'll see how messed up its placement is. Oh, wow. Codex of Italy, collect all secrets in Venice levels. I didn't realize that... Oh no. Oh no. I did not check. Oh no, I forgot this is the 3rd secret. No way. Let me see something. We have 29 pickups and we have 960 bullets. I am so sorry. I wanted to do my pickup glitch experiment here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna see us back at this spot just before picking up the secret. I need to resolve this mystery once and for all. Of course I didn't save. Okay, we find ourselves back again in the depths of darkness. Now let me just resolve this pickup opera house glitch once and for all. So let me light up a flare first and foremost. We have 640 Uzi clips. Assuming we are gonna get 4 pickups of Uzi ammunition, we should receive 320, making it 960, which was the case before. If we'll receive 5 ammo pickups, that should give us 400, meaning 1040, okay? So, Depending on that, we'll be able to judge if we got 5 pickups or 4 pickups. When we look at the stat screen, we see 23 pickups. So, one is going to be the Jade Dragon, bringing us to 24, and 4 ammo pickups should bring us to 28. But it's going to say 29, even though we are going to get 4 pickups. Let me test this in practice. There we are. On the screen, we see Jade Dragon and 4 pickups. According to the Uzi ammunition count, we indeed got only 320 shots, that's 80 shots each, meaning 4 bundles of pickups, as is shown on the screen. However, rather than having 28 of them, we have 29. So, yes, it is confirmed exactly what's written in Stella's walkthrough. I mean, Stella is never wrong, she's incredible. So, this is a glitch. You might be thinking they added an extra pickup into the remastered version of Opera House. No. And I was racking my brain for the longest time. Why does every single pickup match my notes from a decade ago exactly? Yet I keep counting 36 in my original video, even in my notes upon just doing repeat counts, and here it shows 37. That's because there is some sort of invisible 6th pickup the game throws into the pickups count here. And it only happens in this level as far as I'm aware, okay? So the mystery is now resolved. Let's make a forward grabbing jump, so we sort of slide down without hitting Lara's head. I'm glad we have that out of the way, and I believe I managed to maintain myself same health level when navigating the elevator shaft with all those hitmen and rats again. Just look at it. Beautiful thing, this health bar. Let's move the crate over here, because we'll open up the door and we'll want to move it back into the sort of backstage room. There we go. I can just imagine all the opera starlets and stars putting makeup on, wigs, and preparing themselves for performance. Probably Gianni Bartoli, Marco Bartoli's father, was one of them. Hard to say. Okay, on we go. Just a couple more, Lara. Pretty please. And I'm really eager to save the game soon, because I don't want to repeat the whole elevator shaft Rochambeau again. Okay. I find what happens now to be immensely satisfying. See what I told you about the maximum height Lara can reach? Well, now we'll put the 2 crates on one another, and I'll try to show you that we cannot reach it from the ground, but from the literal wooden step we absolutely can. Although, I guess we could technically also do it like this. Yeah, okay, so we don't need the little wooden step, but it's a great tutorial. See, she cannot reach it, and using this she just can, and just pressing forward and holding action will get you here. Easy. Oh wait, we can take a sneak peek into the... Oh, that's nice. They translated this darkness to not make it look empty into, well, probably more sandbags or some nonsense like that, but that's cool. At least it feels like it's full and not empty. Oh, no, Lara. You are a bit too eager getting close to him. What gives? Okay, but he did not manage to hit us, at least not that I've seen on screen on the health bar. Die. Thank you. 1 shot from pistols, that's all it took then. Okay. And again, passing the trail of corpses and the 2nd level of the elevator shaft, here we find ourselves. You know, I think I mentioned this before, but I actually love the fact that corpses do not disappear in the classic Tomb Raider trilogy, because it kind of leaves this battlefield feeling. It gives you memories, it makes you think, remember what we've been through, and somehow it makes me feel accomplished. And potentially a bit bloodthirsty, but there you have it. Whereas in Tomb Raider 4 and 5, corpses disappear, and I think that's a darn shame. Okay, there we go. So this way, not only we'll get to the top floor, but more importantly into the stage control room. Let's just diagonally run forward like this. We have already triggered this boulder, so our life is now made easier. And I think we need to press this switch again to enable us getting into the circuit board area. Exactly. So now we cannot get into the Opera House top floor like this. Well, we could by leaving the door and taking the longer route, but more important thing is that we have the circuit board in our inventory, okay? Lara, can you grab it with your legs as well? Thank you. No point in using this switch again, we'll just trap ourselves back here. Although, saying that, you could do that and then just use the golden dragon trick I showed you earlier to get to the top floor like this, but it's just a longer route, there really is no point, okay? So let's put the circuit board in, nothing happens on its own, but this will enable the switch to the right. And let's take one final look at the floating islands. Well, not really with the chandelier in the way, but it'll be interesting to see how it transitions once we flick this switch open. There we go. It's instantaneous, you hear the sound, but you don't really see the animation. We can see it's lifted, and we see Fiamma Nera banners, or the Temple of Xi'an entry door banners, hung there. Which means we're on a good hot trail. Let's again flick this switch, rather than climbing out of the opera house altogether, to make it to the top floor. And I think from here, it's about time we did a really cool swan dive back into the flooded area in front of the stage. We'll see, we'll see. There is gonna be a couple of more enemies we'll need to take care of, though. Okay, most notably a sniper that I'm really worried about, because I really want to preserve our health as much as humanly possible for the final encounter, because there be a boss fight, oh yes. And you know what, I'm gonna save here and also show you the exploit you can use at the very beginning of the level. Well, not very beginning, once you make it here to the top floor for the first time. So the idea altogether was to just jump here, tilt Lara to the left, and there, you have skipped almost the entire level, except for the final area. Then you can flick a switch here, and continue on to the final room of the level, okay? We're not gonna do that yet. Let me show you the intended way, but we'll keep it in mind for our time trial. Now, what I'd like to do is I'd like to land on that tile over here with the box, because even if it's shallow water, Lara will not break her neck. Let's see. Ah, almost made it. Damn it. Okay. You just see the standard falling into shallow water recovery animation, okay? It's interesting. She has neck-breaking immunity in shallow water. Oh. No, no. What? How? No way. I'm redoing this. This is not okay. And I'm gonna use this opportunity to... Ah, there we go. See what I mean? Uh-oh. I climbed up a bit too early. Let's get behind this bastard. Ah, screw you. Oh no. There's more of them now coming. Oh, I can hear the footsteps. Let's use this hole to confuse that pathfinding. What? Well, that could have gone better, but I accept it. That sniper, though. God damn it, I don't want to use another small medpack. We have only used one and got this far. By the way, do your best to not fall down here. It's a long way back up over here. If you remember, that's where we found the relay box which enabled the elevators. Oh, and let's just briefly admire the Fiamma Nera banners. Very nice, they added a light bulb here, really cute. I love the look in the original as well, a bit more tattered, but the remasters are nice too, and we can see the remains of the Floating Isles stage panel over here, okay? Now inside, you don't have to worry about any enemy encounters or even any hidden goodies or items back here. It's mostly an empty area. It's all about finding this one movable block, which actually is much more easier to spot in the remastered graphics, surprisingly. In the originals, you can kind of make out it being split into 4 squares, but I don't know, I find it a bit difficult in these pixelated PlayStation 1 graphics. In PC it was much easier to notice. Okay, let's flick yet another switch. And this moved the Floating Isle stage panel even further. Let me show you. And created a walkway. So there's this middle part, essentially. We now cannot even exit via the normal way. The stage has now closed back as it was originally. But that's fine, because we are already on the inside, okay? If we were to fall down here or something, we would need to go all the way back up and flick the switch open to lift it again, alright? But I also want to show you how to trigger this sandbag and... Ooh, not die, hopefully. There is one more baton-wielding henchman, whose appearance we have also triggered via doing this. So I want to take care of him before we enter the final area of the level and somehow survive it without using a medpack. Now that will be a real challenge. But I think shotgun will come very handy. come out, wherever you are. By the way, while flicking the switch that opened up the final area of the level, we have also opened this small shortcut all the way back here, okay? So if from now on you fall down onto the stage or anything like that, you can make it back up. And you know what? I'm gonna make use of that just to get rid of this thug patrolling around here. And maybe we could take pot shots at him. Yep, like this. Awesome. Ah, still alive. Yep, they are bullet sponges, and our pistols are, well, to be fair, they are rather pathetic. There's a price to pay for infinite ammunition. One shot, okay. Did he drop anything? I don't remember that being the case. Yeah, my memory serves me well. Okay, and now, again, using the shortcut wooden paneling, we can make it all the way back up. And finally wrap up the Opera House finale. My goodness, this has been an absolutely epic dungeon. And I love the setting. It really feels like a place of a past tragedy that perhaps even many people died in, not that different from a tomb. Now let me save here because overcoming this sandbag is a bit of a nightmare. Damn it! See what I mean? The trick here is to jump as it hits the leftmost point, okay? And immediately hold roll, and this is the best way I find to avoid taking damage. Now then, let's use a little trick. Oopsie. That didn't work out great. But let me introduce you to Fenice Chapter Boss. There he is. We do not know his name, we only know he's a high-ranking member in the Fiamanera cult, if you could not tell by the ceremonial robes he's wearing. And the fact that he is so ripped, he can carry the world's largest revolvers that would break normal person's wrist upon firing. But this guy is just tenacious. We're facing a problem now, where upon taking a step beyond this line, we'll also summon the appearance of 2 Doberman dogs. And I can't tell you how much this is gonna complicate things, but let's see how this will go. Okay, and he's down. Now for the dogs. Okay. Alrighty then. Now, an alternative strategy is to do pretty much the same thing, keeping here for as long as possible without triggering the dogs, but replacing shotgun with a grenade launcher. But I didn't want to do that just yet, plus we only have 3, we would run out of ammo and have to switch a weapon. So overall I decided to stick to the shotgun, but our reward is now having 9 lovely grenades for this wonderful weapon, okay? That's what this henchman drops. Now, I wish Lara would do a better job of finishing him off, if you know what I mean, because this is not the last time we see him, but his eyes glowing red, maybe he has some kind of saving throw or something that will bring him back to life. Unfortunately, that's not it. There is another hitman patrolling this area who can just shave away our remaining health very easily. Okay, let's ambush him rather than he us again. I'm just gonna stick to the shotgun, I don't even care anymore. Now he drops a little care package, small med pack and Uzi clips. And we can also use this area to get up, which is what we absolutely want to do. But let's do it in a way we'll avoid the majority of these swinging crates. So let's stick to the left path. Oh, and by the way, in case you forgot anything, you can absolutely jump over here. And this is a bit tricky. You need to make a sort of a running jump, pivot Lara to the left, hold action to slide in, and also not get hit by the crate. But it's absolutely possible, just a bit difficult, and you can go back to the previous Opera House proper and essentially pick up anything you might have missed, with the exception of crossing the roof with breakaway tiles, right? Saying that, I just hope I haven't jinxed us and we'll see on the final stat screen that we're missing 1 item or something like that. Whew, close call. And now, let's flick the switch and trigger the appearance of Final Hitman. Okay, and let him walk to us. We can use the photo mode to take a sneak peek to see which direction he'll come from, this one or that one. That's the only important thing. The footsteps are approaching. Oh, there he is, there he is. Okay, Lara, you got this, girl. Slay! My friends, we will finish Opera House having used only one small health pack. I know, it's not a Nomad's run, but I am so incredibly proud. I mean, 46 bloody enemies. And let me actually check my old notes. 16 of these are hitmen that shoot, and one of them, the 17th, is the boss with 2 revolvers. I mean, this is absolutely evil. So, via taking another step into the seaplane, we should unlock 2 more achievements for beating Venice and for not being bitten by rats and avoiding the plague in Venice. But first of all, I'd just like to show you something. We see the same skybox that was used outside, right? The same one that was used in Return to Egypt and Temple of the Cat for Unfinished Business expansion. It's nice as far as the stars and the moon go, but look at the original. The original not only had stars, but it had a diorama of Venice in the distance. I mean, this is such a downgrade when it comes to remasters. I do not understand this. I was actually hoping that by the time we'll play Tomb Raider 2 Remastered, they will have fixed this. Now, of course, it has imperfections. You can see this is a box all around us. But it creates such a great sense of atmosphere. There are still lights coming inside the town. But there you have it. Instead, we have to settle for something more generic. What they improved, however, is the girl on the plane over here, which I'm not sure, but I'm thinking it could be Barbarella reference. I really do not know, which was a sort of a erotic sci-fi movie from 1960s. Yeah, I truly do not know who this bombshell is supposed to be. Oh, and one thing, let's check the stats. Yes, we got everything. So, my friends, I'm gonna make a save here, and we are now, in the following cutscene, gonna learn a bit more about Marco Bartoli and his role in all this business. And then, we're gonna see each other on the final stat screen.
But it's not quite the same now, is it?
Someday you will get a speeding ticket for that tongue, Fabio.
Hey, it's just a gut feeling that maybe you are wrong to look there.
Is your belief so fragile? Relax. Breathe deep. The gut, Fabio. It's no more direction than a simple through and out. When my father left when I was a boy, he confided to me that he was a light. Echoed by something greater than impulse. He possessed the Seraph. But he was just a disciple in this design. His death, plotting a path to be sought by the One, his son. You understand? Have faith, Fabio. Not gut rot. We are searching the right place.
I know it. I believe it, Marco.
Good. Ilros, have you fixed that rail yet?
And that is Via Caravelli Venice and No Time for the Plague, both unlocked. That's such a relief. You know, it takes finishing the 3rd Venice level to know if you really haven't messed up in any of the previous levels encounters, and this just puts my mind at ease. So that's it. We have found all these levels 36 items, not 37, do not be fooled. This is presumably going to affect the final stat screen once we beat the game as well. We have killed all 46 enemies. And we have only used one small medpack, a point that I'm really proud of, especially considering how much damage we took at the very beginning when dropping down into the attic with the key. And we have unlocked all 7 achievements unlockable in this level. I am really happy with how this turned out, with a few hiccups here or there, and we have resolved the mystery of the non-existent 37th pickup in this level. My friends, I hope you found this useful, I hope you had a blast. And what I think is an absolute treat and a reward is just seeing this cutscene in the end. The gut, Fabio, is no more than simple in and out. Honest, perhaps, but not enlightened. I love this writing so much. And to demonstrate that point further, Marco just punched him in the gut. I mean, how more poignant can you get? It's wonderful. And actually, the henchmen here aren't just brainless idiots like the goons Natla hired in Tomb Raider 1. They set up a trap for Lara. Well, Eros, the henchman with the wrench key, did. And yeah, everyone has so much class in the classic Tomb Raiders. It's really incredible. It makes me very happy. And we also learned that Gianni Bartoli already knew where to look for the so-called Seraph, Marco Bartoli's father, who was already part of this cult, so this cult has existed for a while. Perhaps there even exists since the death of the Chinese Dragon Emperor, you know, all those... I actually don't know how many centuries or millennia ago that battle between Tibetan monks and China was supposed to take place, but it seems the cult is more on the global scale, and this is perhaps just some local Italian branch, difficult to say. So now it's a race for the so-called Seraph. This is the first time we heard about the Seraph, and if you're wondering what the hell is Seraph and you're confused, that's okay. Even Lara doesn't know, and she will find out in 2 levels' time from a particular person, okay? But essentially, I can already tell you, Seraph is a key to a dungeon with a key to the actual door in the Temple of Xi'an. But for a different faction involved in this story, it's an absolutely sacred object. But that's enough of plot exposition for now. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this guide useful for either breaking all the breakaway tiles or just the 3 needed for the achievement. And I'm really happy with how this turned out. We had a lot of fun. I'm gonna see you next time in, well, I don't even know if it's really the next chapter of the game. It's more like a next in-between chapter of the game consisting just of 2 levels before we do deep dive into the proper one. But I love it. It's colorful, interesting. It is industrial setting, but no less interesting than exploring tombs. And now I would like to thank my amazing patrons. Blank Goopel, Mick, Severin Drax, Marek Malec and KT Danger, thank you guys so much for being my Winstons and for pouring over a full glass of Bellini to Lara to allow her to enjoy the opera performance that Bartoli's henchmen have put up. Next, I would like to give big thanks to my caretaker Winston, Michael McConkie. Thank you so much for taking out over 155 bullets out of Lara's body. That's exactly as much as she took today when navigating the Opera House. I would also like to give a very special thank you to my veteran Winston, Andrea Paviglianiti. Thank you so much, sir, for polishing Lara's shotgun and ensuring that it's in peak condition, allowing her to take on the final boss of the Venetian chapter of the game, the Cold Guy. And finally, I would like to give a very special thank you to my one and only fine vintage Winston, Akira Foxmind. Thank you so much for supporting the channel in this way, and also thank you for getting the last minute tickets to La Fenice to Lara. Without them, she'd be lost and couldn't even get into the Opera House and break up the Fiamma Nera meeting. And finally, thank you to everyone watching and sharing your fond or sometimes less than fond memories of these levels. I feel like the Venice levels specifically tend to stand out in our memories from playing Tomb Raider 2, and you have a lot to look forward to. But I'd rather show you than talk about it, so let me get working on Offshore Rig, and that's exactly where I'll see you next.